Hi, welcome back to the farm. My name's Roz, also known as Passion Flower, and you'll find me here each week talking about my farming and creative life. So we did get rain, quite a bit of rain on the Sunday last week as my video went live. Um, it was a lovely, consistent rain almost all day. And I enjoyed getting out in it and getting a little bit wet and standing and just watching it and smelling the smell of rain and knowing that our tanks were getting replenished a little bit. Obviously, not anywhere near enough to fill them or to replace all of the water that we need, but it was a nice relief. It feels like we're going to get some rain now, actually. It is grey and cloudy and really humid. Just as I started to record, my glasses just started to fog up as well. So I feel like there's some moisture in the air and we probably will get some rain this afternoon. Since that rain on Sunday, we have had hot weather again, lots of sun. The ground is still super dry, and the dams pretty much just have like little puddles in the middle of them now. So they're not completely dry, but nothing to speak of really. Which, look, Adam has made the most of that situation. He has been digging them out as much as he can because they haven't been dug out in a really long time. So he's using the bucket on the tractor and scooping out as much as he can around each of the dams. So he's sort of taking it in turns to do a bit on all of them. Before it rained, I did get the motivation and, well, I kind of had to cover the hay bale ring for the sheep. Um, it wasn't too hard in the end. I put them into the other area out here just to keep them out of my way. And I grabbed the frame that we had used previously, put it back on, and then found another piece of tarp and used the rivet rings that were already in it. So I didn't actually puncture any holes in the tarp this time. Just kind of tented it across using the high bar in the middle of the frame that we'd created to sort of create like a pitched roof. And then used twine to hold down the rivets all the way around to make it so that it was reasonably tight so that hopefully the wind wouldn't catch up underneath it, and also that it would be tight enough that water wouldn't like sit on it and just flow off. And I think I did an all right job. It's still on, so it hasn't blown away yet, and it looks like it's kept the majority of the hay dry enough for the sheep to still be happy with it. So that is good. Might have to do a few running repairs on some of the twine and make the ties a little bit tighter in a couple of areas, but for the time being, it has done the job. The 3D printer has been working hard these past few weeks, getting the new spindles, row counters, and little containers for the Moorbark Wool and Handicraft Show on the 30th of March, so next Sunday. For those who haven't seen them yet, I have 3D printed products that I will be bringing to that market and then the following markets in the next few weeks as well. I have two different styles of yarn spindles. I have a Love Hearts version and a sunflower version, and they're in a lot of different colors, and I'm mixing and matching and doing different colored bases and tops, and there'll be also some that are matched all the way through. Also got some row counters, also in a variety of colors. Got some blue, some pink, and some orange so far. So there'll be those. And also these containers. So they're twist top containers and they fit quite a lot inside. They're quite tall. So what I've decided to do is add a few little bits to this because I use one of these now in my knitting bag and it's super handy to keep things in. So I'm going to be adding in a darning needle, a little set of stitch markers. So there'll be different colors. So one contrast and then a little series of markers, and a yarn cutter. So you can easily cut your thread when you finish a project. So that will all go in there and easily fit inside the container. So they will be available on the 30th of March. So in lead up to that, I'm getting all of that done. And I am also now up to the fun, exciting part, which is figuring out how my stall is going to look. So this next week, I will be setting up my displays and putting my yarn on hooks and deciding on the color order and how I'm going to present all of these things on my stall as well. And then I'll be ready for next Sunday. So I'd love to see you there. So please come and say hi if you are going to be there in Moorabah. And I'm looking forward to a really fun day. It's nice to get back into the market scene and see the other vendors and to catch up with all of you guys as well. First to what I'm wearing this week, this is the Tolster Tee by Rebecca Clow or Crayabea Designs. This was the first one I made, and it is out of the Queen of Cups colorway by Toil and Trouble Yarns, which is from Circle of Stitches in Salem in the US. And it was a gift from my sister when she came back from their holiday to the US. Love this t-shirt. It is so comfortable, fits perfectly, and was a real joy to knit. I have knit 2 of them, and I will be definitely knitting myself some more because there are so many options for just having a nice, comfortable t-shirt. Now, I've kind of gone a little bit cast on crazy. I feel like I've got a little too many projects on the go right now. I have a lot of whips that I haven't touched in a really long time, and I've got quite a few whips that I've been doing little bits and pieces on these past few weeks, and now I've added a couple more things to that mix. So, and I know that the more I try and knit on, the less I end up doing on all of them. So from your perspective, you're probably not going to see a ton of progress on much, but I just couldn't help myself. I had to cast on a few other things. So first to what I have worked on. I didn't bring over Pescadero this week. I have only worked on it briefly. I'll pop a picture of the lace pattern here, I think. But yeah, only a few rows on that one. I did work on my sister's jumper, the one that I'm making up using a pattern from the 52 Weeks of Easy Knits and a pattern that I found on Ravelry. I'll put all of the links below, and I have spoken about this for a couple of weeks. So I've made quite a lot of progress on the front. I am just at the point where I think I need to hold it up to the back and figure out how many rows of the shaping I need to do so that then I can work backwards to determine where I need to start that, because I knit the back to a different length than the pattern, and I have knit the front to the same amount extra than it calls for. But I just need to make sure that that actually works before I continue on. So really loving how that's coming out. But as it got to the hard bit, I switched to other things. One of the things I switched to when I didn't want to turn the brain on at all was my Bali hat that I'm working on using my own yarn. It is in the Aqua colorway in my Flourish DK and the Hydrangea colorway in my Wispy lace. So those two together make this, which is coming up really beautifully. I'm really loving how the mohair and the DK are working up together. So this is now at a good point where I can have it ready to knit on at markets. So you will probably see this if you see me in the next couple of weeks. Okay, now to my cast-ons. Well, one is a already cast on, and one is I am itching to cast it on and probably will in the next day or so. So first to a pair of socks. I'm sure if you're living here in Melbourne or Australia that you have heard of the Bendigo Sheep and Wool Show or the Australian Wool Show. And there are a group of knitters. Oh, I've just noticed that I have dropped a stitch. That's great. Anyway, that's fine. It's thick wool. We'll get back to that later. It's okay. A group of knitters have put together the Bendigo project, which is a knit along and a series of patterns that can all be worked on leading up to and then worn at Bendigo. Now, I'm not sure if I'm going to be going to Bendigo or not. Sorry, my needles are clinking. But I didn't want to miss out on knitting one of the patterns for the Bendigo project. I may end up knitting more than just the one, but I thought I'd start with socks because I actually haven't cast on any socks this year so far. And I thought I'd challenge myself because I normally knit just my regular toe up, don't refer to a pattern, don't put any like stitch pattern or anything in it, just do a plain sock. And I thought maybe that's why I haven't really gotten into knitting socks this year, that it's a little bit on the boring side maybe. So I decided to knit the Bendigo socks by Kath Martin, and I am using Socks Yeah DK by Coop Knits in the Dionysus colorway. That's terrible. Dionysus, I think it is. And it's coming. Is that coming out? Okay, I'm going to grab the ball as well. Yeah, that's coming up pretty true. It's sort of a reddish purple with little flecks of like a darker red in it. Really, really pretty. And so I'd balled this up and I was going to knit some just plain DK socks a few weeks ago. Tried it on a bigger needle and it was not right for me. So I have now gone to a 3.25 millimeter and I have started working the pattern of the sock, and it's a really cool pattern, super easy to follow, and it's working up. It's these little mini cables that run down each side of the foot, of the leg. So I've got a few more. I think I'll probably make these a bit higher than what the pattern calls for, only because I want them to stick out above my boots. So that's sort of my plan, because I had imagined that these are going to go with my orange Merry People boots. So I'm having fun working on that. I watched the cast on party, so that's on YouTube if you want to go check that out. There's a lot of information if you look for the hashtag Bendigo Project, and there's a Instagram page and a Facebook page. So join in, follow along. There are these socks. There is the long paddock jumper. There is the Fibonacci cowl. There is the Sunda jumper or top, I think it is, and the Four Winds shawl. So there's certainly a lot of options to choose from in terms of the type of knitting that you want to do. And you can be rugged almost up from head to toe. Not quite, there's no beanie, but there is a cowl, a top, a jumper, and socks. So lots to get on board and knit. So I had to do it. I just had to. The other thing that I really want to cast on is a Happy Street shawl by Vera. And I've knit one of these before a long time ago, and it is a fantastic shape. And during winter, I wear it a lot. And I have been watching the Get Flocked podcast. So that's from the shop, Get Flocked shop in New Zealand. And Ethan on there has been talking about simple garter stitch shawls and knitting things that you have knit before and like revisiting them and enjoying them and all of that kind of thing. And he's mentioned Happy Street a couple of times in the past few weeks, and I was like, Yeah, I need to make myself another one. This is a really good idea because I know that I will enjoy it. And I've got some yarn that I thought would be perfect for it. So I'll show you the colors. So the previous one that I made, I used these three colors of Madeline Tosh, and there are singles. And this is what I have left of each of them. And so I thought I can use these in some of the stripes. Hang on, this is what the happy streak looks like. So I can use these colors actually add more stripes than what the original pattern has. So I can use each of these probably once and then use this as the main color. So it's sort of like a dirty kind of denim-y blue. And this as the predominant stripe color. So if you can imagine, if I see if I can hold them all together. That way. Can I do it? So I thought I could alternate the dark pink with each of the previously used colors and use the blue as the main color. I think that's what I'm going to do, or I may use the pink as the main color and do the others as the reverse. So actually that might work better. What do you think? I'd love some opinions before I cast it on. Should I use the dark pink as the main color or the blue as the main color? I'm second guessing myself now and thinking maybe it should be the dark pink. But I think it's a really pretty combination. The blue is a little bit out there and a bit different, but I think that it works with those other colors. I did have a brighter blue, but it was too different. But I think the tone of this one works. And it kind of still fits in with the Bendigo project because it is stripes, and the theme of the Bendigo project is stripes. So even though I'm not working on a new striped shawl, I'm kind of getting a little bit inspired by it and playing around with some color as well. So not quite cast on, but definitely in my near future. I wound it up yesterday. It's ready to go. And this weekend, I think, is going to be all about knitting on a little bit of all of the things and showing no progress next week. But I think I'm going to really enjoy myself. And I think that's the main thing. I know, like, I show my knitting on here, and it's probably more interesting when I have things finished and there's a lot of progress. But from a personal perspective, the thing for me really is about the joy of it and doing what I love. And if that means putting down a project for a while and then picking it back up, that's okay. But I need to then be kind to myself about that as well and not put pressure on myself to finish something just because I'm here. Or, and I feel like that I have to. And just, yeah, I don't know. Now I'm just rambling, but I think part of the creative hobby of knitting is the choosing of colors and the choosing of projects, and also being part of the community that is doing it together as a whole. So that's why I cast on the Bendigo socks, so I could be part of that knitting community. And I think the Happy Street will definitely use up quite a bit of my stash yarn and will provide me with a garment that I really, really already know that I will wear again and over again, like something like the Tulsa tee. So, yeah, I've been super rambly today. This is not my normal recording time, and I am not super clear on what I'm talking about. So, that's probably it. Well, that's it for another week. Thanks for spending some time with me. If you're enjoying these videos, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I look forward to seeing you next week on the farm. Bye.